Take two for the evil, horrible gang of murderers that are trying to kill you with insert that radio frequency and name and 5G, because 5G is how you scare people. And yes, YouTube will flag this video. I've been spending the entire day trying to unscrew the one channel I use for most stuff, including visiting people while I'm doing live talks, but I guess that's not going to happen. So anyway, let's just get on with this. United Kingdom 5G coverage. There isn't any. Nothing's actively hooked up. But what is 5G? Well, I've asked people this already to come up with their explanation about it, so let's just move on, shall we? Okay. This is the coverage map for Indianapolis. Proposed or active. Okay? It's your decision. I'm going to leave links below in the description. This is Houston. That's the coverage area. Sacramento. Coverage area. Los Angeles. Coverage area. This is the Sprint 5G preliminary launch footprints anticipated. There's not actually an explanation that this is happening, and the map is not really there. They're not actually doing it. This is what they're, let's see, PC Magazine, which is funny because February 1st, here is Verizon's secret 5G home coverage map. And not so ironically, this is actually on the page talking about it. It's like they did it as a joke with PC Mag. So there's a secret coverage map someday. Right? Preliminary. Hasn't happened yet. Yeah, anyway, let's just move on here. I like how they cite PC Mag and PC Mag cites them. So let's get on to the next one. This is the supposed 40 gigahertz licensed pattern. This is how it works out for Verizon, apparently. Okay? That's what it says it is. Okay? Wide bandwidth is darker color than low bandwidth. But when is it going to be happening? You'll have to check the links, but no, it's not. This isn't really the coverage area kind of. It's not really. It's not on. Here's another coverage map. T-Mobile 600 megahertz. Okay, now I want you to understand this. T-Mobile is going to use 5G at a low frequency. But of course, someone is still going to make that into white genocide or mass murder or mind control. 5G doesn't mean they use a specific frequency then. Okay, well then, how can you claim this is bad when it's a lower frequency and isn't going to hurt you as much? Is that it? People are talking about it being 40 gigahertz. Well, it goes down to 600 megahertz for T-Mobile. They're just implementing the standard for communication type. It's like, let's just continue. And this is the T-Mobile standalone 5G 600 megahertz again. And mid-band over 600 megahertz. Again, this is the coverage map. Well, actually, no. This is their proposed level, and this is what it may be like soon. This is Sprint 2.5 gigahertz spectrum used for 5G, because you can just use 5G over pretty much any frequency group, right? It's not a specific frequency. Your complaints about it being deadly are based on the frequency it's in. What if people just don't use the frequencies you're talking about? Then it's a communication standard and a fifth-generation networking methodology. That's what it is. It's not a frequency. Okay, reality check. Are the blue dots 4G and the orange dots 5G? It's a blurry image for AT&T 5G, but that's probably their proposed coverage again, because again, you know. Here we see the actual coverage locations: Kansas City, Oklahoma City. Individual cities are getting small areas within the cities hooked up. Okay? And again, it can be anywhere. It can be any frequency grouping. 5G doesn't have to be a specific frequency. They recently restandardized it to use it as mostly a protocol. So now you're going to have to regroup your hate-mongering about 5G being bad when they're using basically the same frequencies you were before. Does anybody remember when modems went to 56K baud? And all they did was just find a creative way to compress information on the telephone line? It's the same telephone line. So yeah, US 5G, USA coverage map. This is. So all you have to do is stay away from 2 cities if you're in LA, and basically the entire West Coast doesn't have it. Yeah, England coverage map. That's the last thing I looked up. And what did I? They don't have anything active, and it'll take 4 or 5 years for the nationwide map to fill in at all. It'll only be a few cities. There's like 6. And again, they don't have to use the high frequencies you're talking about. Now, this is where things get a little bit annoying for everybody dealing with this. Your claim is that 5G is deadly, and it has to stay this way, is deadly, is dangerous, it's a obvious plan to try to destroy human beings and kill everybody on the planet, whatever, because of the frequency it's at. But number one, the frequency doesn't have to be the upper frequency range. It could be 40 gigahertz or half a gigahertz. I mean, there are computers running at this frequency, for crying out loud. So, but it's special because they slap a 5G label on the communications protocol set, and the real coverage area is a lot smaller than you guys keep talking about. But that doesn't matter. Facts don't matter, because 5G is about killing human beings, and we have to act like activists and say things that are irrational so that no change can happen. In Britain, it's based on demand. If everyone doesn't demand it, or if a bunch of people say we don't want it, they're not going to put it in your area. So all you have to do is force the telecom companies to recognize, make them understand through a letter writing campaign that you don't want 5G in the area, that you will refuse to use it if it's put in place, so it's a waste of money. And if that has enough of an effect, they won't put it there. But if the majority of people want it because they want high-speed connections, or they want to use less power per square yard exposure because it lowers your exposure levels, then that will happen. I also point out, again, it doesn't have to be the frequencies you're talking about. So all this poppycock talk of 5G being a resonant frequency for hemoglobin or water or brain frequencies doesn't work if it's not the frequencies you're talking about. All right? So, if anybody's curious, 5G is not going to kill you, number one, because there's no reason to believe that. It's not going to cause cancer, and it's not being implemented. And people who are claiming, well, I'm already sick from it, are in areas where it's not at. If anybody wants to contradict me, that's great. All you have to do is show that I'm wrong. That's fine. So please do. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And I hope my channel or channels stop being blocked for communications ability soon. Bye.